我宣布開會。
I think we can start. May I now call the meeting to order? Item 1. Information papers issued since the last meeting. The Secretariat has issued one paper to members. Members can refer to the agenda for the title of the paper. Any questions? No? Items for discussion at the next meeting. The next meeting will be held on the 27th of May, Monday. The administration has proposed one item, and that is stepping up the control of emissions from vessels. In fact, the administration has proposed that some objective criteria be adopted in the legislation to assess the emissions from vessels. So once the Secretariat has received further proposals from the administration, members will be so informed. So item 3 on the agenda, report on the progress of development of the new cruise terminal project at Kai Tak. So let's invite the administration in. We have with us today Mr. Philip Yong, Commissioner for Tourism, Ms. Rosanna Law, Deputy Commissioner for Tourism, and Mr. Andy Lam, Assistant Commissioner for Tourism. Welcome. And thanks for accompanying us during the visit to the cruise terminal. So can you now update us on the latest situation? Yes, thank you, Chairman. Thank you, members. We've just gone on a site visit to the new cruise terminal. And I thank members for having joined the site visit, and I hope that the site visit has enabled members to have a better understanding of the development of the cruise terminal. We've provided members with a paper on the development of the new cruise terminal. In fact, we are now in the final stages of the construction works. The contractors are trying to speed up these final works. And then in May, we'll be installing the passenger gangways. Our plan is that on the 12th of June, Mariners of the Seas will arrive, and it's going to be the first cruise liner to be received by the cruise terminal. So the apron as well as the terminal building will be commissioned on that day. And so we are now working very hard towards this target date of the 12th of June. But even after the commissioning of the terminal building and the apron, there will still be some outstanding minor decoration works, and also we'll need to finish the installation of the decorative panels of the feature roofs on both ends of the building. But these will not affect the overall operation of the terminal building and the apron. And I believe members have seen the landscape deck. And this deck will be open to the public in the third quarter of this year. And then the ancillary commercial area, members have also seen part of that area. In fact, we are now in the process of dealing with the leasing arrangements. And this ancillary commercial area will open in phases starting from the fourth quarter of 2013. And so Marina of the Seas will be berthed at the terminal in June, and the other facilities will be commissioned in phases later in the year. In the past year, with regard to the cruise terminal at Kai Tak and the promotion of cruise tourism in Hong Kong, we did a lot of work together with the tourism industry. We want to try to attract more cruise lines to Hong Kong to berth at the Ocean Terminal and the Kai-Tak Cruise Terminal. We also hope that the huge potential of the cruise market in Hong Kong and in the region can be fully utilized. Thank you. Thank you very much, Philip. Mr. Wong Kwok Heng, Ms. Elizabeth Quad, Mr. Tan Ka Peel, Mr. James Tian, and Ms. Chung Kwok Pan, and also Mr. Yu Si Wing are queuing up to ask questions. 5 minutes for each member. And Mr. Chen Wah Fong as well. Mr. Wong Kwok Heng. Thank you, Chairman. I'm grateful to you for having arranged the site visit. I'm not a member of this panel, and yet I'm very interested in this project, and so I also joined the site visit. I've got 2 comments for the administration. First of all, now concerning the access roads to the cruise terminal, and I think the arrangements need to be improved. There are too few lanes. The lanes are too narrow. And then I think there is a poor interchange with the Kwun Tong area. I'm sure many coaches will go to the cruise terminal from Kwun Tong, and I'm worried there will be very serious traffic congestion. Now, the cruise terminal will become a tourist attraction and will also be a major attraction for local people. This is because people can enjoy a panoramic view of the Victoria Harbour from the terminal building. And I'm sure both non-local and local visitors will go there, especially during the early stages of the operation of the cruise terminal. And the road surface is very narrow. If there are 8 to 10 coaches there, then that would be enough to cause traffic congestion. I hope that you can iron out the arrangements of the transport department. I think this is going to be a major problem. Second, I think the appearance of the cruise terminal, both inside and outside, is rather good. I understand that there are some still some outstanding works, but then inside the terminal building, can we have murals or installations with local characteristics? Now, for visitors arriving on a cruise, when they arrive, they will know that they will know more about our local characteristics. For example, can we display a big junk in the terminal building? You know, junk is a symbol of Hong Kong, but of course I'm not saying that it must be a junk, but I think I mean something that can represent Hong Kong, something that can symbolize Hong Kong. And I think having such displays in the whole area will be a very good idea. Commissioner, yes, thank you. I thank the member for the 2 comments. I think the 2 comments are very useful and helpful. First of all, on the transport arrangements, I think sound transport arrangements can contribute to the success of the cruise terminal. So concerning road transport and public transport, the administration asked the consultant of the Kai-Tak development plan to study the traffic and transport arrangements for the cruise terminal. Now, in fact, the road is rather wide. It's about 6 meters wide. It's a dual 2-lane carriageway. The Kai-Tak development area is a major development project, and the road network will be further developed. But of course, the member is concerned about teething problems. Now, when a cruise arrives, we, of course, will know of them beforehand. We'll know how many passengers or visitors will be arriving, and so there can be adequate arrangements or preparation. And then, if local people also want to visit the cruise terminal, of course, initially they will have to travel on this road. But then if there are major activities taking place at the cruise terminal, and also on public holidays, we will make or have suitable traffic arrangements in place. And also if there is an emergency situation, we may need to make use of a temporary road or access. And then you can see that the whole area is very big. Visitors or people wait for the cruise there. So what activities will there be for the passengers? Just now the member suggested that we should display a junk there. We will be talking to the ASD about this. Now, in fact, at the Hong Kong International Airport, we from time to time stage exhibitions showcasing Hong Kong, for example. Sometimes there are photo exhibitions. So we will do our best to enrich the experience of visitors while they are waiting in the whole area. Ms. Elizabeth Quat. Yes, thank you, Chairman. I want to say that I appreciate very much the design of the terminal and the terminal building, and in particular the landscape deck. It's a very spacious landscape deck, and I think this is excellent recreation space for Hong Kong people as well. Now, concerning the video wall, now some have expressed concerns about light pollution and also possible adverse impact on navigation. And that's my first point. And second, what about onshore charging facilities or electricity supply facilities? Now, I'm sure a lot of local people will visit the landscape deck. So, will there be a large enough car park? And will this area be easily accessible to Hong Kong people by public transport? And also, this is a very big landscape deck. So, will there be performances or exhibitions on the landscape deck? In fact, the Commissioner has recently approached toy manufacturers in Hong Kong with a view to staging a major toy show there. I think the Commissioner can give members more details. Yes, thank you, Chairman. Thank you, members. First of all, the video wall. I believe members also saw the video wall on the terminal building. This will be used to showcase Hong Kong as well as the cruise terminal. In the past month or so, we kept testing the lighting intensity at different times of the day and under different weather conditions. And we hope that the lighting intensity of the video wall will synchronize with the lighting intensity of other video walls on both sides of the Victoria Harbour, so as to achieve a synchronized and soft effect. And so there shouldn't be a problem of light pollution caused to nearby residents, and there should not be any safety hazard to vessels. And then it is the intention to switch off the video wall by 11 p.m. So much for the video wall.
Regarding onshore electricity supply, in the last policy address, the CE already indicated that in Kai-Tak terminal, cruise terminal, there will be such installations to tie in with environmental protection requirements. But there are international standards that we need to comply. And the standards were more or less firmed up by the international organization concerned last year. So we need to come up with a overall plan to comply. The Environmental Bureau colleagues, together with the EMSD, will be looking at the feasibility studies on and also on relevant indicators and standards. I understand that they may wish to start work at the end of this year, and after the technical standards are set, and we are going to come to this council to apply for funding to install the onshore electricity supply system. As for whether there will be any venue on the landscape deck to give performances, we'll further discuss the matter with the LCSD. But as the chairman has indicated, on the two halls, it's a very wide and wide space with no columns. So when no cruise is berthed, we can use the space for other activities such as exhibitions and performances. And during the summer season is the season with storms and typhoons, and maybe we have little use of the cruise terminal for berthing, so we can use it for other purposes. What about parking spaces? There were 126 spaces for private cars. Of course, other than driving there yourself, you can take a taxi or use other modes of public transport. There will be green minibus linking up the terminal with Kowloon Bay. Mr. Tan Ka-pil, some members have expressed concern about traffic and transport arrangements. It's not just about visitors or passengers, but there will also be visitors who would go there to see this new attraction, whether they are local people or visitors to Hong Kong. So we're concerned about the access road and also the number of coach parking spaces. So I have two suggestions concerning the issues of capacity. What about waterborne access? The operator is considering, I think, the provision of a ferry service to Tsim Sha Tsui or Central. So apart from relying on coaches, can we also allow people to walk? Because arriving the cruise passengers may not like to take a coach as soon as they disembark. Maybe they can walk and allow to walk. It's good for their experience because they can appreciate the cityscape of Hong Kong. So can we be given some update from the Commissioner? And also in paragraph 3 of the paper, it said that there will be a recurrent expenditure of $220 million, not a small sum, and it's about to be commissioned. So will the figure further go up? and you have signed a contract with Worldwide Cruise Terminal Consortium. Is the fee that they paid enough to cover this recurrent expenditure of $220 million? Concerning the numbers of parking spaces, well, they're in the paper, but maybe I can repeat some of those figures.
呢一個譬如俾旅遊巴嗰度，即係剛才其實大家。
Well, it was where you disembarked when you went there. There were 30 bays for coaches, 30 for waiting coaches, for pickup and setting down 40, 72 spaces for the taxis, waiting taxis 76, 136 for private cars. That's within the terminal itself. But Kai-Tak development is a big project. In the facility, there will be other facilities to be commissioned. Some are commercial facilities, some are tourism related. I can imagine that when they are commissioned, they will all have their own parking facilities which can complement the cruise terminal. Turning to walking. Within the Kai-Tak development, we have taken on board design along the promenade for visitors to walk. And it's not just for cruise passengers, but also for Hong Kong people. But it would only be realized gradually with the future phases of Kai-Tak development. Cruise passengers who are not joining any local tour may be interested in walking along the promenade to appreciate the beauty of Victoria Harbour. But for these facilities, will only be commissioned gradually with future phases of Kai-Tak development project. Recurrent expenditure. When we came here to apply for the funding of the cruise terminal, we also included the operating costs for the cruise terminal. The operator would pay us rent, both fixed and another one based on the percentage of the proceeds, which is variable. But when we look at the cost effectiveness of the cruise terminal, we do not just look at the rent, but rather the overall benefits to the tourism industry. Hong Kong as a major cruise hub in Asia is also going to bring about economic benefits. So we are not just looking at the rental income. So, Chairman, that's all from my side. What about waterborne transport? Well, we encourage the operator to explore various possibilities for the transport linkage between the cruise terminal and other places. We have been given some proposals from the cruise terminal operator to see whether ferry service can be provided to take passengers to other places in Hong Kong. We are going to explore this with the operator further. But the cruise terminal project is a complex system. If we want to provide additional facilities, we need some more time for exploration and discussion. Mr. Michael Tin, as the former chairman of the Hong Kong Tourism Board, I'm familiar with this project and I was there on the visit. I want to make 4 points. First, I'm concerned that with a new facility like this, we have to make sure that there's no problem upon commissioning. On the 12th of June, we are going to receive Marina of the Seas. You have the taxis base, but you need to provide for the sufficient number of taxis to be there and ready. And we want to make sure that the arriving passengers would complement our efforts. So we must make sure that on commissioning, everything will be okay. And also about paragraph 11, the Hong Kong Cruise Forum in January. How many have firmed up their schedule to come to Hong Kong among the cruise terminal operators? And what about other destinations in Southeast Asia? Because they cannot just have one stop in their itinerary. And also, what about the Hong Kong or the CLP cable? Is it sufficient to provide the online electricity supply? If they have to turn on their onboard generator for days, would they be ready to use a low sulfur fuel? Commissioner, thank you, Mr. Tin, for your questions. I would answer the questions one by one. On the 12th of June, Marina of the Seas will berth here. We will do our best to make all the necessary preparation. Well, it's a challenge, and we are proceed with a lot of care to prepare for the first berthing of a cruise liner. And actually, in March, Celebrity Millennium and other cruise came here during soft opening of the terminal. Regarding transport and traffic, taxis, we would liaise further with the service providers to tell them about the berthing arrangements, and we'll make arrangements to receive. And we'll make arrangements for the travel agents who would be serving passengers of Marina of the Seas to come up and talk over their plans, including the tours that they are going to arrange. And after July, August, the stormy seasons, we can also gain experience from the previous berthings. But there may be unforeseen problems. As I've said, the terminal facilities will be commissioned in phases. On the 12th of June, we are going to receive the first cruise liner, and then the landscape deck will be commissioned in the third quarter, and other facilities will be commissioned at the end of this year. So we hope this would provide a run-in period to make us ready in good time. And we expect some 18 arrivals up to June next year. After June this year, July and August are traditionally low season for cruise liners because there are storms. According to the operator, some 19 cruise liners will arrive. With further publicity and further commissioning of facilities, we expect more cruise liners to berth here in the Kai Tak Cruise Terminal. And of course, we understand that there may be some teething problems, but we would do our best together with the operator to establish a reputation and to instill confidence on the part of passengers, and it's hoped by doing this we can attract more to come. As for online electricity supply, of course it's good for environmental protection, but we need to conduct a feasibility study first before work can be carried out. The environmental the Environment Bureau has been consulting the cruise operators to use or to switch to low sulfur diesel while they are berthed here. So consultation is being carried out. And they will not just cover cruise liners, but also other ocean-going vessels as well.
Then one trip, multiple destinations. Yes. So we hope that for the sea voyage and also the shore excursion programs, we hope to work very closely with the HKTB to promote the one trip multiple destination itineraries. Mr. Chung Kok Pan. I understand that only $1.2 million need to be paid by the operator to the government every year. And then it is said that for the variable rent, the percentage can range from 7.3% to 34%. Why is it that there is such a big range? And then we want to know when the cruise will be fully utilized with regard to its capacity. And then we are told that we have a lot of typhoons during the summer season. So I want to know whether the cruise terminal or the terminal building will be used. You know, in other countries, a cruise terminal is at the busiest time in summer. Yes, Mr. Yong. Now, concerning the rent payable to the administration, there are two components, a fixed rent and a variable rent. The variable rent is based on a sliding scale linked to the operator's gross receipt. And then concerning the range from 7% to 30-odd%, that really depends on the gross receipt of the operator. For the first 30 million, there is a certain percentage, and then the next 30 million, the percentage becomes higher. In the middle of 2011, we started the tendering exercise, and in fact, the arrangement was part of the conditions proposed in the bid. And of course, if the operator has more business, if there are more cruises coming, then the variable rent paid to the government will be larger in amount. Now, of course, we also need to consider the benefits brought to Hong Kong tourism. Now, there will be 18 cruises during a certain period of time, and I understand that the operator has also tried to attract 19 cruises during another period. I'm sure if we can prove that we can provide a quality service, people will have more confidence in the operator as well as in the cruise terminal at Kai Tak. And as a result, more cruise lines will berth at the Kai Tak cruise terminal. And then concerning the peak season for the cruise terminal, that should be October to April in the following year. And then during the summer holidays, since summer in Hong Kong is a typhoon season, there won't be vessels or cruises berthed at the terminal in July and August. So we'll make use of the summer holidays to finish the final decoration works at the terminal building. And we also hope to have some activities for Hong Kong people. We'll also try to publicize the cruise terminal during that period. But we haven't really ironed out all the details. Once we've got the details, we will inform members of such details. Mr. Yu Si-wei? Yes, thank you. Now, over $8 billion have been spent on the development of the cruise terminal, but I think the effect is quite good. And the recurrent expenditure will be over $200 million a year. I understand that during the initial stages, we should not assess the effectiveness of the cruise terminal simply based on the recurrent expenditure. So in the first year of its operation, there will be 18 cruises, and then the number will increase in the following years. Now, I think during the first 1 or 2 years, more Hong Kong people as well as mainland visitors will be interested in taking cruises. Last year, mainlanders accounted for 60% of the total market. And also last year, the State Tourism Bureau said that mainlanders could take cruises via Hong Kong to Japan and Korea. I think we can't solely rely on the local market. We also have to tap the mainland market. And then second, concerning transit arrangements. Now there will be parking bays for coaches, but then will there be fixed parking spaces for cross-border coaches or buses? So I want to know whether there will be such arrangements. And then many in the tourism industry hope that they can pay a site visit to the cruise terminal before it is commissioned. So can that be arranged? Commissioner? Yes, thank you, Chairman. I think concerning the passengers, we're looking at the mainland. That's going to be a major market, and in particular, the southern part of China, Guangdong province. So we have in fact done a lot of publicity and promotion in southern China, hoping to attract more passengers from that area. And we're sure that visitors from that part of China will be interested in taking a cruise. And then we have in mind long-haul markets like Europe, the USA, and Australia. So these are packages covering air tickets and cruise trips. And so we've already designed such packages for tourists from long-haul markets. And then third, the local market is going to be a major market. With the commissioning of the new cruise terminal, and given that Hong Kong people like traveling, they will be interested in using the Kai Tak cruise terminal, in joining cruise trips. At the moment, they have to fly to other destinations to take a cruise. So I'm sure more local people will be interested in cruise itineraries. Now, if we have more or a lot of visitors from the southern part of China, then of course cross-border bus service will need to be provided and stepped up. So we are willing to talk to the bus service operators with a view to working out the best arrangements. And then participation by the industry. Now, this morning's site visit by panel members is the first site visit by a local organization. Then concerning the Hong Kong Tourism Board as well as members of the industry, we will make arrangements for them to visit the cruise terminal, because such visits will help them design their tourism products and promote their products to their clients. Yes, I want to follow up, Chairman. concerning mainlanders taking a cruise to Japan and Korea via Hong Kong. Now, the details are not very clear. For example, when they return to the mainland, do they have to go via Hong Kong, or can they return directly from Japan or Korea to the mainland? I hope that some follow-up inquiries can be made. Yes, Chairman, I understand that this is important. In the middle of last year, the Tourism Bureau announced the details concerning opening up the cruise itineraries. In fact, we are in close liaison with the State Tourism Bureau on the matter, and once we've got the details, we will make the details available to the tourism sector. Yes, Mr. Chong Fong, thank you, Chairman. Now, so today, finally, we were able to pay a site visit to the cruise terminal. We have been discussing and talking about the cruise terminal for years. And I think this is a very good, very modern cruise terminal, and a lot of green design features have been incorporated into the cruise terminal, and I really appreciate all these efforts. And I agree with Mr. Wong Kwok Heng. The roads are rather narrow. There are only 2 lanes on each side. And the roads leading out to Kwun Tong are not straight, and there's not enough greening. Now, for the cruise terminal at Kai Tak, we have the harbour, we have the magnificent harbour as the backdrop. But then along the access roads, there is little greening. This is not satisfactory. I think there is room for improvement here. Then 126 parking spaces for private cars. And I understand that there will be a car park, but is that enough? 126 parking spaces mean that the capacity is only 126 families, and I think that's not enough. And do you have a sign telling people how many parking spaces are still available? Now, all in all, I have a very good impression of the cruise terminal, but there will be local visitors, there will be cruise passengers. So will we be able to cope with all the people flow? That's my concern. Yes, Chairman, thank you. I want to say that the traffic arrangements for the cruise terminal keep evolving. The cruise terminal is one of the facilities that is commissioned within the first stage of Kai Tak development. The road network in the Kai Tak area will be further developed. We're only talking about the initial stage of Kai Tak development now. But of course, we will be seeking continuous improvements. And the member feels that the road is narrow. This is a dual 2-lane carriageway. We will talk to relevant departments to see whether temporary accesses will be available if there is a traffic jam on this road. And then greening and planting. Now, on one side, members, I believe, saw the bamboo trees, and they were planted early this year when the weather became warm, and it really takes time for plants to grow. And then near the terminal building, there will be some panels or hoardings with paintings on them. And then parking spaces. So, we need to provide the major facilities, the essential facilities there, and so we can't be providing too many parking spaces. But then in future, other facilities nearby will be commissioned in stages, and there will be a larger supply of parking spaces. And then the people flow in the area. Now, when the cruise terminal is commissioned, there won't be a lot of facilities nearby. So with regard to the terminal building, the landscape deck, and the ancillary commercial area, they will be commissioned not all at the same time, but in phases. But of course, we will closely monitor the situation. When there are a lot of people there, we'll see what arrangements need to be put in place to facilitate the flow of vehicles and people.
Mr. Wong Ting-kwong, thank you, Chairman. Well, we went to Dubai and Barcelona to take a look at their cruise facilities, and today we visited ours. I would say that ours is among the most advanced in the world, although the size is not very big. But our facilities are better than those in Dubai and Barcelona. I hope the SAR government can leverage on our advantages. I know the Hong Kong Tourism Board has come up with this co-opt marketing fund with cruise operators. So there will be a matching arrangement whereby cruise operators would do more publicity to attract more liners to use our terminal. In this regard, I have a question. After the cruise terminal is commissioned, will we be come up with some arrangement with mainland cities, and our terminal would serve as the home port, because the express road link is going to be constructed. So how can we make best use of it? For example, for tours going to Hunan, to Zhangjiajie, if you use the express rail lane, it takes a traveling time of 3 to 4 hours. So can we make some arrangements to tie in with other destinations and tours visiting those destinations in on the mainland? That's a very important development. But it seems that we were turning and making a detour within the urban district after we left the Cross Harbour Tunnel. We had to make so many turns before we can access the approach road, and the coach driver has some difficulty negotiating the turns and bends. Can something be done about that? Well, maybe the transport and traffic arrangements can be further developed. And yes, today the access road is not very satisfactory because there's so many turns and bends, and it's also narrowed. Commissioner, please, your response, please. I thank Mr. Wong Ting-kwong for his valuable suggestions and comments. Let me concentrate on 2 points here. Cooperation with the mainland, that's point number 1. Second, traffic and transport arrangement. We want to develop the multiple destination itinerary with the mainland In the past, it's about land tours or land transport covering destinations on both sides. It's equally important for cruise itineraries. There are other well-equipped cruise terminals in neighboring provinces. And if we can have some cooperation with them, it would be best for our promotion. For example, Hainan and we are going to work with Hainan authorities and also cruise operators to launch new cruise itineraries. And when the express rail link is commissioned, the terminal will be in West Kowloon, and from West Kowloon you can easily access the cruise terminal. And that will be one of the connections or convenient connections for cruise passengers. So we are going to seize the opportunity provided by the express rail link. Today, our visit also provides us with some experience so that we can do improvements. We may need to explain to the coach drivers on how to access the cruise terminal. Maybe better signage can be provided. We are going to work harder with the cruise terminal operator and the transport departments so that when the terminal is fully functional, we can reduce inconvenience for drivers. At some road junctions in Kowloon Bay, the Transport Department will be doing improvements to tie in with the commissioning of the cruise terminal. Better arrangement will be worked out. I understand your concern about traffic and transport arrangements. We'll certainly look into possible improvements and arrangements. Dr. Fernando Zhang, traffic and transport arrangements. We are a bit concerned whether you have actually looked into these issues. Cruise passengers, many of them are elderly people. Some may have mobility problems. Some may be using wheelchairs. You said there's a green minibus running between the terminal and Kowloon Bay. But we don't have barrier-free access for GMB and taxis. If you just rely on the transport operators to do this, it's really not very fair to the public. If it's very difficult for those who are wheelchair-bound, then even though the cruise terminal is equipped with barrier-free access, people simply cannot have access to the cruise terminal to enjoy the use of these facilities. So you must look at the barrier-free access arrangements, not about barrier-free facilities, but about the access to the cruise terminal in itself, the traffic and transport arrangements. We are going to spend $8 billion on the project and then $220 million in recurrent operational costs annually. But the cruise terminal operator would just pay you $1.2 million in rent. So they are going to make a profit. The question is just how big it is. Will the operator be outsourcing its services, and are we going to face the prospect of strikes and industrial action? How can we monitor the cruise terminal operator to prevent exploitation? It's not a government department, but it manages a government facility, and we cannot interfere with its operations, which would be based on commercial considerations. So how can the public monitor the work of this cruise terminal operator? Will it be outsourcing some of its work would it be willing to show the corporate social responsibility in hiring perhaps some disabled people? There are three things: barrier-free access and complementary arrangements. Well, they are an important consideration in the design of the cruise terminal. The member is correct that there are sufficient barrier-free facilities both for the berthing, access, and toilets. We have talked to the Rehab Advisory Committee, the EOC, and relevant parties on a number of occasions on the provision of barrier-free access and facilities in the terminal. But the member is correct that we should not just look at the facilities, but also to make sure that the service can be utilized by people who have access problems. We are willing to consider the provision of a rehab bus service. Given sufficient patronage, we can work on it. And we are more than willing to communicate with the relevant parties. As for the rent, the member has referred to the fixed rent. Apart from the fixed rent, as we discussed earlier, we look at the gross receipts of the operator. A variable rent is payable. The higher the gross receipts, the higher the variable rent. So it's not just confined to the 1 million plus annually. As for outsourcing, well, they do have a plan to outsource cleansing services. There's a committee overseeing the operation of the cruise terminal. The commissioner of tourism will be the chairman of the committee, and there are other professionals sitting on the committee. The committee would oversee the operation of the cruise terminal. If there are problems that have to be addressed, the administration can ask the committee to deal with those issues accordingly. There's a big problem with the barrier-free transport service. At present, there is no arrangement. You are just going to look at the patronage and work out something with the service provider. This means you have no vision. You are not planning with foresight. So why are you waiting until you have problems? Of course, we need to consider providing parking spaces for rehab buses. But what about public transport? If this is regarded as an isolated island, it's not really fair to the public. This is a public facility. It's not just for the cruise passengers, and you cannot just exclude people who are wheelchair users. You must provide some public transport to provide barrier-free access. Commissioner, please take these views back to the relevant organizations. Mr. Paul Chair, I'm also concerned about traffic and transport, like other members. And mention has been made about the future express rail link. At present, attention is focused on the vicinity of the areas in the vicinity, such as Kowloon Bay and the GMB, which is to be the tender with the pride between the terminal and Kowloon Bay. I think this is already a hub in Kowloon East, and the pedestrians link system would take a long time to complete. Can we adopt some new thinking? Although it may involve reaching a longer distance, please don't concentrate everything in Kowloon East. Can we do something about Kowloon West to link up with the future express rail facilities? It's good for alleviating the pressure. There was a previous occasion whereby 20 people were treated to have pun choi. And we believe, we think that during the low season there will be major activities and programs to be hosted in the cruise terminal. I think consideration must be given to how you can disperse the crowd after completion of the activities. Changi Street is no good. Maybe you should consider some way to expand or widen the road.
And then when this cruise terminal is fully commissioned, will there be a division of labor between this terminal and the ocean terminal? So it's like the Western Harbour Crossing and the Eastern Harbour Crossing. How are you going to distribute the cruise traffic between the two cruise terminals fairly? Will the government be favoring any of these cruise terminals? And then there is a measure announced by the mainland authorities concerning the home port arrangement, Hong Kong and Taiwan. So I want to know whether this is going to be a major source of passengers for our cruise terminal. Yes, Commissioner. Chairman, concerning passengers arriving on terminals, the travel agents will make the necessary arrangements. And when Celebrity Millennium berthed at the cruise terminal in March, the operation was also smooth. And at the moment, we are planning to provide a green minibus service from Telford Gardens, Kowloon Bay to the cruise terminal. But then if there are one-off major activities at the cruise terminal, then we will work out the special transport arrangements based on the nature of the activities and also the expected number of people. And then concerning the positioning of the two cruise terminals and then division of labor, our policy is to ensure that there is a fair competition. We want to let the market decide. In fact, the ocean terminal can't accommodate the largest cruises, and that's in fact one of the reasons why we are building the new cruise terminal at Kwai Tek. But then, of course, we hope that both terminals can flourish. We hope that both terminals can have a lot of business. That will help make Hong Kong a hub for cruise liners. But then concerning the division of labor among the two terminals, the two terminals will have to work hard, and the distribution of traffic will be decided by the market. And then in June last year, the central government opened up the policy so that after visiting Taiwan, mainlanders can visit Korea and Japan before returning to the mainland. We are having discussions with the State Tourism Bureau, and once we've got all the details, we will inform the tourism sector. I want to know whether this cruise trip between the mainland and Taiwan is still very popular. Now, initially, people were very enthusiastic because it was a new route, but of course, the enthusiasm did die down a bit. Right, finally, I've got a question for the Commissioner. I would like to thank the government departments and I believe you'll be able to commission the cruise terminal as scheduled, and we look forward to receiving the first cruise liner, Mariner of the Seas. In fact, I think the place is very beautiful. Greening has already started, and I'm sure the cruise terminal, especially the landscape deck, is going to be a very good place for Hong Kong people to spend their leisure time. People can enjoy the spectacular panoramic view of the Victoria Harbour from the landscape deck. So it's really a very, very good place. And I'm also concerned about parking spaces for private vehicles as well as for coaches, and I'm also concerned about public transport arrangements. In fact, there's lots of space there, so we hope to attract more cruise liners. We hope to attract more passengers arriving on cruises, and we also hope that more Hong Kong people can go there to enjoy the open space. But it's important that there must be adequate parking spaces. We also need to have parking spaces for the disabled. And we hope that this magnificent cruise terminal can be used by many cruise lines, and they can make Hong Kong their home port. So I want to know whether there will be regular trips using the Kai-Tak cruise terminal in the coming year. I understand that shortly after the terminal is commissioned, we will enter the typhoon season, and so that's going to be a very quiet period for the cruise terminal. But then if some cruise liners have already agreed to use Hong Kong as the home port, that would be good news for all. And concerning the space, the ample space in the cruise terminal, some members have suggested that there should be some major activities there. And can you provide more retail outlets at the cruise terminal for passengers as well as for local people? Yes, thank you, Chairman. We will try our best to step up the transport arrangements, Chairman. And then the Tourism Board has been stepping up promotion activities with the industry through the Co-op Marketing Fund. And then there will be we've already finalized some of the trips coming to Hong Kong, and some of these trips in fact involve the same cruise liners. So we hope that we can continue to strengthen our position as a home port. In the terminal building, there are about 5,600 square meters of commercial area, and there will be retail outlets available. The operator is in the process of working out the leasing arrangements, and we hope that there will be a balanced mix of commercial facilities in the commercial area, including restaurants, retail shops, and so on and so forth. Right? I think that's all. for this Q&A session. I wish to conclude that members are of the view that the progress has been satisfactory. Members in general feel that the cruise terminal is a cruise terminal that Hong Kong people can be proud of, and it's going to be a tourist attraction. It's going to be excellent recreation space for local people, and there is screening near the cruise terminal, and there is this excellent landscape deck. And members are concerned about parking spaces for private vehicles, for coaches, and also public transport arrangements to and from the cruise terminal. And then concerning the linkage between the cruise terminal and the express rail link station, these are also members' concerns. So we hope that the Commissioner can reflect members' views and concerns to relevant bureaus and departments. And please keep on updating us on the latest developments. We do look forward to the commissioning of the cruise terminal. We are of the view that this is going to be a major tourism infrastructure item for Hong Kong. Thank you very much. AOB now. Do members have any AOB items to propose? No? Date of next meeting, 27th of May. So the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.